Hello everyfuck, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and I made the fatal mistake of watching the German national final before recording this, despite the fact that I said that I would exactly not do that in the vlog that I uploaded today, which will be yesterday by the time this video goes up. But yes, currently recording this at, 8 minutes to 11 on the night of the 25th. So, I'm recording it a day in advance, which means it should at least go up on time. Comparatively, for once. Now, was it... Oh, you want me to actually remember? Well, I remember being amused by it because it had 69 in the middle, otherwise I wouldn't have remembered. Now, I'm guessing it's 1690 because when we saw it, it was 0691, but because that's a reverse, like a twistable number. Yeah, there we go. It was upside down. See, that there was an extra level to that pass where they expected me to think it was 0691 and then have to work out that, oh, I was looking at it upside down because they deliberately wrote the 1 as a single line rather than as the full 1. Now, we should really look at that, but yeah, we'll begin with the obvious one unless Ashley decides that I'm not supposed to. Whoa! Someone is throwing shade immediately. Is that, really, that's all you're going to say? How can you have... Okay, you can have an unnamed sender, but there's still going to be some electronic signature that came with that. You would be able to work out who it was from. It would just take a little bit... Like, you'd go to the police with that, and then they'd be able to track it. Considering there's a murder involved, you know. And, together again, I don't remember their prior connection, so this is interesting. And also, apparently, Rex is intent on continuing the work of Judd. I'm still not over that name. Judd. Again, it sounds like a jarring thud. Like if you dropped a large expensive vase, but it's made of really thick porcelain so it doesn't shatter, it just kind of lands and goes, Judd! Anyway. It's been a couple of episodes, but my batteries in this Wii Remote still haven't run out. They're still on I started this project with these Wii Remote batteries on 2 bars of charge. They are still on 2 bars of charge. Where do I click so that you can open this message? That was weird. That had a really weird hitbox. Awkward age. Sorry I go quiet when looking at these emails, but I'm reading them and I'm giving you the space to read them as well, rather than reading out loud and patronizing your asses. Let me guess. She doesn't understand me. Or perhaps she's actually being considerate of her feelings. Well, that's impressive as well. Now, we can't open this because he'll know, but we have to because plot progress. Actually, on most email things, you can just tick it to say mark as unread. But of course, Ashley's not going to do that because this is 2007, and being computer literate at age 16 is an anomaly, and she won't be properly computer literate because she's 16 at an age where it's anomalous to be computer literate at age 16. Well, yum yum. Who is this Mike Tyler? You see, my first response is to think of Mike Tyson, because... letters. Now, can we leave, or are you going to get yet another email? And calm the fuck down, kettle, randomly clicking in the background. Do I need to look at the water photos again? Because we've established where those are, even if Ashley hasn't consolidated it in her brain space. Also, the DAS updated while it was in there as well, and... ah, yes. I just had a thought. You see that circle icon on the computer that makes it look like a loading screen? Yep, the DAS just made a noise. I'll hold it close to the microphone in case it does it again. The Wii Remote, that is. So it's made some sort of upgradey sound, and it's been upgraded, and I think that's what opens that last option on the pause screen that we've not been able to use up to this point. So what is it? There we go, the save icon's now not currently available, but that's because we're supposed to look at this. The Connect thing that wasn't there. Well, it was grayed out like this before, and now it's usable because it's been upgraded. Accessing database. Hey, we can look into... I forgot that's what the security cameras were for. We can literally go full prism on this shit. So, there's Ranger Asgore at the gate. Princess. Sunglass. Can I finish spying on the people, please? I was only halfway through. How rude. Well, no, it's just the security cameras. How can you... Well, given that it's taken from above, what the fuck do you think? And the fact that it's referred to as connect rather than... Well fucking done. Why did that not occur to you immediately? Are you blind? You can really tell it's 2007, where the kids are as technologically stupid as the adults of today. Well, like the older ones. Because at this point, we're getting to the age where the adults understand technology as well. But yeah, so now we can spy on people. But I wasn't done spying, and oh. You're turning to face the camera, and I'm guessing this is the end of Chapter 3. And look, you could have just clicked mark as unread. You silly 2007 child. You see, now we are just every flavour of illegal, but she's looking around, and that would very much indicate it's end of chapter quiz time. Now, the fact that her nameplate is popping up there on the left, that implies she's saying this out loud, because her internal thoughts don't have a nameplate, they're just in ashly-coloured text, which is pinkish out of context, or maybe pink just signifies her inner thoughts, but the fact that her nameplate's there makes me think that she's saying this stuff out loud, which would make sense, but Matthew's in the room, so this must be really strange for him. You gonna ask me what the name of the photographer was? Dan Maxwell. John Smith. Is anyone actually legitimately called John Smith? Because it's such a name that it's not a name, you know? Anyway, his name was Gilbert Moss. Mossy Gilbert. Gibbety Moo. Flimbledy Jim. Shittity Plop. Rumbledy Thumps. That's a thing, somehow. Who the fuck came up with that name, Rumbledy Thumps? Well, I don't know if it was story required, but we discovered in this chapter that the craw with the dest was in the tock clower, because I can words so beautifully sexily. Is there a word for when you use an adverb to describe an adverb? Like, is it an adverb? Like, well, no, it's just an intensifier in it. Anyway, yet another flashback fuck. So, 13 years ago, 2007. I can't be asked working out what year that was. Okay, so this was the... Wait. She mentioned a basement. I'm assuming that's the basement of the old cottage, because I'm focusing on commentating, goddammit. Well, she mentioned a basement, which would imply that she was... Like, it was that photo of her in the front of the mermaid statue. But I'm just... considering what other places could it possibly be, I'm fairly sure it's this, because I saw the word basement in there. Yes, I was right. Okay, I was worried for a second then, because like I got slightly mixed up because Ashley had this flashback from looking at the photo. So we're supposed to remember the flashback and not the photo, which threw me for a second because, well, I was trying to remember what the photo looked like rather than the flashback that came of the photo. Huh? What are you asking? Oh, right, the other flashback. Like, when we saw the mermaid statue, we had a flashback of this fuck, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Because I remember the first time I played this as a child, I got all these flashback questions right, because obviously I was focusing more on the game rather than commentating. And so I never got any of them wrong. And it wasn't until I played through the game a second time, because this game does have a New Game Plus, but I think the only differences are there are more songs available in the music player from the start. Like, the music player is available from the start, I think. It has more songs in it, and you can skip through the text. And so I did a New Game Plus, and got a little way into it just to see what happens if you pick a wrong answer in those sequences. And as it turns out, there's this kind of glass-breaking effect on either the memory or the flashback background or something, and Ashley's like, no, fucker, that's not right, I will have to try again, and then the option's removed, and you have to keep going until you eventually get it right. I don't understand how some Let's Players can do stuff like that on camera, because I do appreciate the sentiment of showing every little facet of the game off, but there's something in my mind that just would not allow me to deliberately fuck something up just in the name of... Interesting title. By the way, pay attention to these title cards, they do change subtly. It's impressive shit. It's very clever. Yeah, Let's Players like Lucky7DX, for instance. I don't understand how people like him can deliberately get stuff wrong in a game for the sake of showing off what getting stuff wrong does. I appreciate why they do it, but I'm not questioning how they do it. Something in my brain would just not let me. It would just be too huge of shame. But I should probably focus on the game. And not rant about my own insecurities of getting stuff wrong. And I'm assuming that was him, yeah, there we go, him testing the water. Now, did we keep that water testing kit from whichever chapter it was? Because that... Well, I mean, technically we found it in that bag in the lake in whichever episode that was. And you would have thought we would have kept it, but it's not in our inventory, so apparently not. Also, we still have that token that I've not used yet. And we got this in the last episode, and we will use it at some point. Well, there's a notepad. Batteries? Can we take them so that we can ward off Balloon Boy? Why'd you take those? We already fixed the music player. And oh look, this has expanded. It's laid out differently because we've got more items, and... Just gonna show off the fact that this works since I'm in the vicinity and able to do so. And this shows the titles of all the songs in the game. But I think, yeah, it doesn't show ones that you've not heard yet. And there are some really, really good songs in this game. We still haven't got to my personal favourite yet, but anyway, that's the music player. Well, that's a line, you know it. One is coloured red on the outside, one's coloured blue on the outside, but that is no indication of what colour they actually write in, which saddens all of my sadness. Are they really... Okay, they are really books. They're not just like a hidden drinking mechanism or something, and what a messy bed. Is there a yellow key hidden inside? If we lie at it, will we be tucked in by a tentacle monster which has legitimately no ulterior motives? Wow. A bottle of water and an empty cup. Is this a Swedish hotel? I still understand the rest of continental European fascination with carbonated water. It is not refreshing in the slightest. But I've experienced it in Sweden, I've experienced it in Germany. I don't understand how people can drink that. Like, well, that's not true. I have drunk it quite happily by myself, but for the purposes of, like, it doesn't quench your thirst. It's not, like, it's just there to... What have you seen? Oh, what an observation. If you want something to distract your... Okay, books about barbecuing. Wow. Like, if you want something to distract your mouth, then it's fine, but... Well, that shelf is deliberately put in such a place that you can't click on it, and once again, I sad all of my crying. Now, there was that blue box. What's in this? Is this the thing? It is the thing. Well, what happened to the one that we found, then? Oh, it was probably taken with the rest of the bag, when Ranger Asgore took it. Carbonated water. Not very refreshing, but good for looking sophisticated? And wow, getting a little tutorial, and, you know, it's not like they're setting us up to actually have to use this at some point in the future. Also, a little thing to consider. It has colours indicating alkaline, acidic, and very acidic. We're not going to meet anything that's incredibly alkaline, then. Although, that actually does remind me of something that happened over the weekend when I was at the, Well, if you saw the vlog that I uploaded the day before this video goes up, then... Wait, where do we have to go, by the way? except I'm too busy reminiscing. But there was, I was at my aunt's 5th child's christening. And, I don't know, she was, my aunt was bitching about someone that, I don't remember who it was, but she was bitching about some person who was also there. And this person keeps insisting that they're a size 10, even though they're quite clearly not. My aunt, for reference, I think is, like, I'm talking about dress size, by the way. I think she's size 14, and not necessarily comfortably so, but she's aware of it, and she's, like, not in denial about it. And so it kind of hurts for her, for this other person who is quite clearly larger than her, to claim that she's a size 10. And I came up with the hilariously witty comeback of, okay, where do we have to go, by the way? I'll get to the punchline in a sec, but where are we going? Okay, right, because you said you weren't going to go to the clock tower, and I thought that meant you wouldn't even go up the path that leads to the clock tower, so thanks for that clarification. But, anyway, so I heard this little anecdote from, well, I was going to mention her by name, but I'm not going to out of respect, but I heard from my aunt herself this story, and I said, oh no, she quite clearly is a 10 on the pH scale, because she's so fucking basic. Science dis! I'm so good at life, get dunked on and all that. But yeah, look, security camera. Wow, I never would have guessed that it's a security camera considering it's security camera shaped and does security camera things. Fuckity wow. Why, Ashley? Why can't you just do the thing that you set out to do in the first? Why are you so easily distracted? And now to prove it, we're gonna whip out the DAS and look at us on the feed. Now, the only disappointing thing with this mechanic is, like, she says it there, that if it's taken a picture, like, that's not how security cameras work. If Five Nights at Freddy's has taught us anything, live feed means live feed, not intermittently taking a static picture, because that is not useful in the slightest. And see, I'm paying attention this time, so I do know what I'm doing. So, we check the Connect thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to check the other images that it's taken, but... Well, first of all, there's the entrance to JC Valley, but we don't know where that is just yet. Abandoned building? Which one? Cottage area gate? Well, he's been getting around. But there we go, sure enough, it does in fact work. But what annoys me, as I said, is the Connect feature only gives us static images, which, admittedly for the purposes of the story, makes more sense and is kind of relevant and... Like, this mechanic would only work if it deals in static pictures. But security cameras don't deal in static pictures, and this bothers me. See, if the DAS is connected to them, then we should have constantly updating live feeds, but no, we have story-specific nonsense. But okay, we've established for no particular reason that yes, this does indeed work. Now, are we going to test the water or nah? Well, surely it's not a good idea to catch yourself watching the camera on camera, because how do we know that we're the only ones who could see through these cameras? It's not supposed to take pictures, it's supposed to provide a live feed. They really, really want to hammer home that this is how it works, although something tells me that the camera won't have seen us, and that either they only update at specific times. Yeah, it didn't update. Either the DAS or the TAS blocks the security cameras from noticing us, or it just goes off intermittently. And I really hope it's the former, because these cameras bother me in how they functioned as it is. I want there to be some sort of science-y, it's the DAS/TAS fault excuse in all this. I don't want it to be, these cameras are shit as fuck. Even though they are already shit as fuck. Yeah, so sincerely hoping the cameras aren't as bad as I think they are, just mostly as bad as I think they are. No, it hasn't. Wow, these kids really are dense. You came here to test water as far as I recall, and now you're just obsessing over your new camera feature. And you say the current generation is the selfie generation. Good grief. Okay, has it updated? Because presumably we'll see him standing in a different position. And, yep, different position. I like how sassy that pose is, like, what the fuck is this? So it is working. The only logical assumption then is that by carrying either the DAS or the TAS, one of the two, or perhaps just by being Ashley, we're preventing the cameras from noticing us, which means that Matthew can run around with us and the cameras won't notice him. But something to bear in mind with all this is there's no guarantee that we're the only ones who can see through the security cameras, and even if we were, how do we know that it's not just the DAS filtering out any pictures of us in there? Because as the TAS has proven, by only responding to us, you can biosynchronize these technologies so that they respond in specific ways to Ashley's DNA. So what if the DAS is programmed to ignore any pictures of Ashley? So essentially, as far as the DAS is concerned, as long as Ashley holds it, she will not be able to see any pictures of herself, but whoever else is looking through the security cameras can. I could almost guarantee it's not that complicated. Oh, there we go. It took you, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes to come to the conclusion that I jumped to as soon as we got here because it makes the most fucking sense? Oh, for fuck's sake, you and your Doctor Who's. I would continue commentating, but, I've been ranting about the game at this point. The problem with this game is, either I'm ranting too much about the game, or ranting about something that's nowhere near related. So either way, I get horribly distracted and have no idea what's going on. And that makes for entertaining commentary, I'm sure. Yeah, good grief, did we have to take this 10-minute excursion just to establish how the cameras work? See, I never had these objections with the game as a child, so maybe it's just me being deliberately cynical for the sake of entertainment or something, but... Okay, well, let's measure the arse water. There's a can in the water. That's ducking fisgusting. We'll have to deal with that in a moment. But this is another one of those motion-controlled things, and it's clever. So, fill the test tube up to the grey line with water, and then add the reagent to the grey line. No, the red line. I can what's it called? Oh god, I'm gonna have to... This isn't how you use a pipette, darling. Good grief. I'm being very careful with this. I don't want to overfill, because then we'll have to redo it, and that's not a good time, and that does look so very suspect. This is, however... That's good. There, okay, that took a moment to realise that was good. But this is one of the mechanics advertised on the back of the box, at the very least in the UK. This is one of their examples of, it contains motion control, so you can do blah, and hold the remote like it's a test tube, and test the chemicals, and shit like that, you know? That's a very worrying noise for a test tube to make, considering you're shaking it like that. It should not make that much noise, Wii Remote. But there we go, so we've established that the lake water is a bit acidic. Now I think then the next part of this chapter involves us going to the other two water sources that were marked on the map and that had photos taken of them, so we can establish the pHs of those places as well. And as I understand it, isn't drinking water naturally a bit more acidic than you would have thought anyway? Oh no, am I thinking of saliva? I know one of them's pH 4, bear in mind, pH 7 is neutral, pH 1 is acidic. I think there's a pH 0 as well, which is insanely acidic, and then pH 14 is alkaline or base. Which should go some way to explaining the pun insult science joke that I made earlier. So, if you weren't paying attention to the map in the father's bedroom, then it would be wise to go back and check that at this point in the game, so that you can check the 3 points of Lake Juliet that we're supposed to go and check. I took a photo of it, but I don't need it because I know where those places are. In short, they're the places where you can walk past a body of water, and you can highlight the water. Because 9 times out of 10, if you can highlight something in this game, then you're going to need to at some point. In fact, I think there's one place, I think this place here is the only exception to that, where we could check this water, but it's a fucking puddle. It's got, it's not connected to Lake Juliet in any way, so if you're thinking logically, that's how you know it's irrelevant. So, that body of water, I don't think it was even marked on the map. that is a body of water that you could look at, but I believe it'll come back as pH 7, which is, as I said, neutral. So the other place that we saw a photo of was here by the arse boathouse. And of course, if I was wrong about that, then it would be rather awkward. But also, we'll do something with those in the next episode, or whenever we next have time to access the recycling machines. So, to recap, testing water just like the other time. Slightly repetitive, but I mean, it's informative. Although, that said, as someone who has studied science, it is kind of agonizing that she hasn't, like, washed the test kit at all, because that would definitely give her a false positive at this point, because she's tested something, it's come up pH less than 7, and all she's done is... No, you don't, it's up to the line. Good grief, do you want me to overfill it, you fuck? The point is, she's measured something in this test tube, and it's come up as acidic, and so she's just dumped that back out somewhere, reagent and all. And so there's going to be some residue in there. Excuse me? I am. Hello? Good grief, that took her a moment. I feel like if I shake it too hard, then it'll just fly everywhere. But yeah, wow, same body of water, same acidity. But it's still gonna have some leftover residual water from over by the mermaid statue. So, Ashley, you're not a very good scientist. Also, das noises. Yay. So it wasn't just a message saying, someone's stolen my water testing kit and now... and my computer has been hacked into, or shit like that. Oh. One thing I will credit this game on. Okay, so it writes teenagers plausibly, and it writes dad messages plausibly. I have a father who communicates via textual message, and thus I can confirm that that is indeed how fathers type. Well, I want to check the other bodies of water, but... Also, I was not paying attention in the fuckers... Okay, thank you. Sometimes how repetitive and really ham-fistedly this game handles telling the player to do things, sometimes it annoys me, but in this instance, I'm thankful because I'm not paying enough attention, and so... I wouldn't have known where to go, were it not for the fact that they repeated it incessantly. Now, logic would dictate, don't actually go back to the cottage because we're at the end of the episode, and if we get there, we'll enter like a 10-minute cutscene, and bad things will happen. But I'm hoping I can at least stop outside the cottage and then end the episode or something, I don't know. Well, you know what, I'm going to put all my eggs into a singular basketoid, and start outroing now. Irolosco Bridge. I have been, and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and I'm hoping we don't run face first into a cutscene now. Okay, good. Well, in the next episode, we'll head into the cottage and do Matthew things. See you then.